So, you've seen those complete solar kits, right? The promise is always so simple. You just plug it in, turn it on, and boom, you've got power. But here's what the manufacturers don't really tell you. These are not simple appliances. Today, we're going to look past all the shiny marketing and get into the engineering reality of what's really inside that box. Okay, let's get into it. And look, that's not just for dramatic effect. This quote really nails the key issue here. What we're dealing with is a powerful electrical system and, understanding how it actually works isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential for keeping it safe and making sure it even works at all. All right, so first things first, we have to tackle the central myth that's sold with every single one of these kits. We're going to put the marketing story, that simple, glossy promise, right up against the hard reality of how electricity actually behaves in these systems. On one side, you've got everything the ads shout about, these huge, impressive watt ratings, the promise of plug and play, and these neat little lists of all the appliances you can supposedly run. But then you look at the other side, and that's what's really going on. These are the things that actually decide if your system is going to work safely and consistently. The risk of fire, something called voltage collapse, and surge current. What's so wild here is just how disconnected these two lists are. One is selling you a dream, and the other is about managing very real risk. So how do we bridge that gap between the marketing fantasy and the tough reality? Well, the solution isn't about memorizing a bunch of specs. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset. We have to stop thinking like consumers who are just buying a product off the shelf and start thinking like engineers who are actually designing a system. And honestly, if you take away just one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Because when you start thinking like an engineer, you stop asking, so how many watts is it? And you start asking the right questions, like, how does this thing handle failure? That change in perspective is what separates a reliable, safe system from one that's just frustrating and, frankly, potentially dangerous. Okay, let's put on our engineering hats for a minute and look at the actual mechanics. See, an engineer doesn't see a box full of random parts. They see a single, interconnected chain. From the second that sunlight hits a panel all the way to the power coming out of your outlet, every single link in that chain has to be perfectly, and I mean perfectly, balanced. And this diagram just lays it out perfectly. First up, the solar panels generate the DC electricity. Next, the charge controller has to regulate all that energy. Then, the battery's job is to store it, and finally, the inverter converts it to the AC power that your stuff actually uses. If you get any one of these stages wrong, like say an inverter that's way too powerful for the battery, the entire chain just breaks down. The charge controller is really the unsung hero of this whole setup. Think of it like the traffic cop for the entire system. Its main job is to protect your most expensive component, the battery, from getting fried by too much power flooding in from the panels. A mismatched controller can kill your system's efficiency before that energy even gets a chance to be stored. Now, the inverter, that's the part everyone knows, but it's also the most misunderstood. It doesn't magically make power. It takes the DC energy that's stored in the battery and transforms it into AC power. But here's the thing you have to understand. To pull off this magic trick, it has to pull a massive, and I mean enormous, amount of DC current from the battery. That high current draw is, without a doubt, the single biggest stress point in the entire system. And that massive current draw, that's our key. It leads us directly to all the hidden points of failure, the critical risks that the marketing specs and the instruction manuals almost never, ever talk about. It really all comes down to a basic law of physics. Power equals voltage times current. So what does that mean for us? Well, for the same amount of power, if you have a low voltage system, like most of those 12-volt kits, the current, the I in that equation, has to be incredibly high. And what does high current create? A ton of heat and stress. This is why, and it sounds crazy, but a simple 12-volt system can actually be more dangerous than a higher voltage one if it's not designed right. So that brings up a really serious safety question. With all that high amperage current zipping through the system, what is the single biggest danger we really need to watch out for? It's almost always tied back to that crazy high DC current. The number one cause is people using wires, the DC cables, that are just way too thin for the amount of current the inverter's trying to pull. Those wires heat up just like the element in a toaster, melting the insulation around them and creating a huge fire hazard. And that's often combined with missing fuses or just a loose connection, which, well, that's the complete recipe for disaster. Okay, here's another mystery that trips up so many people. You check your battery monitor, it says you're at 100%.
But the second you turn on something like a microwave, the whole system just shuts down. What is going on there?
The answer is something called voltage drop, and this chart shows it perfectly. Your battery might be sitting pretty at a healthy 12.6 volts, but because of resistance from using wires that are too long or too thin, by the time that power actually gets to the inverter, the voltage is dropped way down to, say, 11.2 volts. The inverter sees that super low voltage and immediately shuts down to protect itself, even though your battery is technically full. And it doesn't stop there. There are other hidden system killers. When you start up an appliance with a motor, think about your fridge or a water pump, it creates this huge initial surge of current, often 2 or 3 times the normal amount. If the battery or the wires can't handle that split-second demand, the whole system just collapses. On top of that, modern lithium batteries have a built-in protection circuit, a BMS. If that thing gets stressed out, it can just abruptly cut all power to protect the battery cells, which instantly crashes your inverter. So if that big watt rating on the box is basically misleading, what should we be looking for? We have to completely rethink how we measure the actual quality and safety of a solar kit. So what's the real measure of a good system? It's definitely not the watt number on the box. A system's true worth is all about its engineering resilience. That means, what's its capacity for handling high currents safely? How stable is its voltage when you put it under a real load? How well do all the fuses and safety features actually work together? And finally, what's its thermal safety margin? How well does it get rid of heat when it's working hard? These are the things that define a system that's actually robust and reliable. Ultimately, it all just boils down to this one question. Is the system you're looking at designed to look good on a sales page, or is it actually designed to perform safely and reliably when the power's out and you're really counting on it? The good news is, now you have the tools to tell the difference.